at KADYTV.com, and we are live at the Military Appreciation Dinner with David McCallum, longtime actor. What brings you here to Oxnard today?
Wow, well, I got the invitation from Navy Master Chief Ron Dyke, and I just thought it was a wonderful opportunity to come and just give a little something back. And I'm very glad I did. I've been meeting the most wonderful people with their wives and the honorees, and it seems to be one of those occasions when everybody is going to benefit. So it is a great pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So I remember when I was a little girl, I watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So does that bring back memories for you of that TV show?
My life is full of memories. I shall be 80 years old next year. And just the whole idea of, 79 years of doing this profession and having such a wonderful time. It's a pleasure and always has been, and the memories are all wonderful. We all go through certain family times that are not as happy as they could be. But once you weather that storm, life's great.
So is there one memory through your acting career that you cherish more than the others?
Yes, I think when Don Belisario put his arms around me and said, "David, you got the best job in television. You're going to work 2 or 3 days a week and have time off to play golf."
That's great. Thank you so much for being here at the Military Appreciation Dinner on KADYTV.com. Thanks.
If that's not what you signed up for, sorry, but you're going to have a good time. Trust me. You're going to meet some wonderful people tonight. So we're going to start off just on time because this is sort of a semi-military operation. And if you have a program, you'll be able to follow along. If you didn't get a program, we are going to bring the extra programs in by the cover table, which is Navy for us, where you leave your hat. And so there'll be some extra ones there for you. All right? So, by my calculations, we're a minute early. Now, I'm going to ask you to all stand for the chaplain, and then we'll remain standing until we retire the colors. And now I ask Chaplain Jeffrey Hahn to come forward.
Good evening, everyone. Please join me in prayer. Almighty God, may we, O Lord, as a nation and local community, never forget to be eternally grateful for all our patriotic American men and women who have served our nation in uniform in both times of peace and war, in order to protect our precious freedoms and cherished way of life. May we always show honor and love to those who protect our country, but also for their family members and loved ones who also sacrifice. Watch and pray for the loved ones to return home safely each and every day around the world. In your holy name, amen. Amen.
The color guard, parade the colors.
Color guard, ready, step. Come. Detail. Halt. Breathe. Sight. Ha.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was
detail. All right. Before we begin our activities this evening, we will pause to recognize our POWs and MIAs. We call your attention to a small table which occupies a place of dignity and honor near the head table. It is section 1. This table is a way of symbolizing that the members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs and MIAs. We call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and their families tonight. So we join together to pay them a humble tribute and bear witness to their continued absence. The table is set for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of a prisoner alone against his or her oppressors. Remember, the tablecloth is white. It symbolizes the purity of their intention to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember, the single rose displayed at the vase reminds us of the families and the loved ones of our comrades in arms to keep the faith while waiting their return home. Remember, the yellow ribbon tied prominently to the base is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn upon the lapel and breast of thousands who bear witness to the underlying determination to demand proper accounting for the missing. Remember, the candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation. Remember, a slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember, there is salt poured on the plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember, the glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us tonight. Remember, the chair is empty. We are not here. Remember. Remember, all of us who served with them, all their brothers and sisters, who depend upon their aid and counsel, who relied on them. Surely they have not forsaken us. Remember. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifices. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families. Please join me in bowing our heads in a moment of silence in honor of our POWs and MIAs, so they surely remember what they did here today. Yes, sir.
And I would like to thank the Color Guard, or the Honor Guard, from the 146th Airlift Wing, California National Guard, and the band, the 562nd Air Force Band, Band of the Southwest. Our singer tonight, our singer was Staff Sergeant Rick Smith, and the trumpeter, who is also the band leader this evening, is Master Sergeant Gary Locke. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your dinner. I'll be up to annoy you over and over and over again, so don't feel bad. Never mind. To give you some of the ground rules for our dinner tonight. First of all, audience participation is highly recommended. So if something comes up that you like, you want to hear about it, okay? And there'll be lots of opportunities to celebrate different branches of the service. Secondly, you're probably wondering, why are we here tonight? Well, we're here, and I hope you all get an opportunity to read the program. Because in the program, you will see the biographies of 9 outstanding enlisted personnel who represent 17,000 enlisted personnel here in Ventura County. Now you say, how did you select 9 people out of thousands? Well, we at the Chamber of Commerce did not select them. These personnel were selected by their commands and their commanders to represent them. So what you see tonight, these outstanding folks, we recognize them for their outstanding service and for being selected by their command as being an outstanding representative for the Navy, Air Force, etc. So we didn't do it because we don't have the expertise to select 9 people out of 17,000. Go figure. That's why none of my family's here. Anyway, so if you can eat quietly, we'll get some introductions in here so you'll see who the players are in the game tonight. First, I want to introduce Steve Bunker he's the chairman of the board of the Chamber of Commerce. So, Steve, come on up front. He's our host, actually, Chamber of Commerce of Oxnard.
Thank you, Ed. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Directors, and the membership, we thank you very much for attending this event this evening. When Nancy said that I was going to say a few words, she gave me instructions to be intelligent and articulate. You guys are laughing because you've heard me speak before, right? Well, this is a pretty hard act to follow with what's come up so far and what we're in store for. Nancy, I'll try to oblige by the intelligence. My wife, Maria, and I, between the 2 of us, we have 6 kids. Intelligent? Okay. Articulate, I can tell you their names, date of birth. Back to intelligence. Our oldest son, Tom, is an intel officer for the Air Force stationed in San Angelo. That's intelligent. Tom graduated the academy last May, and we couldn't be prouder. Prouder of Tom or our other 5 kids. But that was my corny segue into intelligence, Nancy. Thank you very much. Articulate, well, by the looks of this room, by the number of people here, you can't even begin to imagine the appreciation that the Oxnard Chamber of Commerce and its membership has for the military. We are so appreciative of their efforts, of the sacrifice, and the giving that they do day in and day out. We absolutely, truly appreciate the military, hence the dinner tonight. So let's have a round of applause for our military. articulate. Well, we also have 3 dogs. We're not going to get into that. Sorry, Nancy. Seriously, on behalf of the board of directors and the membership, welcome. We hope you have an incredible evening. We know it will be. And Ed, I'm going to hand this back to you. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Steve. And speaking of articulate, I mispronounced his name. It's Steve Binger. So, only one mistake so far. Chalk that one up. Table number 7 is keeping track of the mistakes. So, now, if you look in your programs during the evening, you will see that we can't make this dinner possible without our sponsors. And we have an entire spectacular number of sponsors that are represented in our program tonight. And I hope that next time before you buy a single item, you will open that program and look for a sponsor that sells that item. Okay, I want everybody's word on that. So without our sponsors, we could not have our dinner here tonight. So thank the sponsors, and you'll be talking or hearing from them as we go this evening. All right? Let's hear from the sponsors. Thank you. And now, speaking of sponsors, see that segue? It's so smooth. Probably didn't even notice it. I'd like to introduce Dr. Eugene Fussell, Vice President and Chief Medical Officer for St. John's Hospital, our title sponsor. He's also a retired 2-star admiral, so he knows it.
Our purpose is health. Our spirit is strong. St. John's Hospital has been serving this community for 100 years. This year is our 100th birthday. We are very honored to be the major or power sponsor tonight for many, many reasons. But before I get into the reasons, I'd like to acknowledge our CEO and President, Laura Eber, that will be with us tonight, also Thursday. We try to stay technically abreast and also programmatically. There have been several things that we've done at St. John's Hospital to maintain our leadership in the community. We have either become a center of excellence or are by the end of this year of the center of excellence in several areas. One geriatric surgery, cardiology, oncology, and in stroke. One of the things that I'd like to just mention, after Tampa and Charlotte, you probably have listened to a lot of speeches, and obviously you didn't see me on the stand because I don't think I could match any of those. But one of the things that I'd like to do is bring to your attention. After listening to all those speeches, it never dawned on you while we have 10 qualified scholars. A lot of people, a lot of conversations, didn't have to worry about interpretation or any reform from speaking at peace. And the reason for that is because this is a free country and we have freedom. So one of the reasons why we're here tonight is to celebrate that freedom and to celebrate just people that ensure that we have that freedom. We have people on watch serving throughout the world because we have the strongest military in the world. And I'm proud. And I still have my spine and I still understand. I'm proud to say that I spent 2 years in uniform. From the time I was a freshman medical student until about 14 years ago. I think that we sometimes forget how young people, the young men and women sacrifice for us to have our freedom, and we should never forget that. One of the things we did today, we had the honor and privilege of touring Captain Vasquez and his other wife Nancy throughout our facility, because we want him to know, commanding these 18,000 people, that St. John's Hospital is there for them 24/7. And again, I'd just like to say it is a privilege and a pleasure for us to be out of public. Thank you.
Oh, now it's my privilege, and I'll read this so I don't make a mistake. Introducing Nancy Lindholm, President and CEO of Oxnard Chamber, to introduce some of the VIPs we have with us tonight.
Thank you very much, Ed. And before I make the introductions, I would just like to add to the Chamber of Commerce very, very sincere thank you to all of our active duty military, our retired military, and team number 4 over there, our future military. Thank you so much for your service and for defending our free enterprise system. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce our elected officials that are with us tonight. And I'd like to start off with Assembly Member Jeff Burrell. Representing Assembly Member Julia Browning, we have Louise Rishaw. Ventura County Supervisor John Zaragoza. Ventura County Supervisor Kathy Long. We put one on each side of the room to make sure. From the City of Oxnard, we have Councilman Brian McDonald. Also from the City of Oxnard, we have Treasurer Dan Navas. From the Oxnard Harbor District, we have Vice President and Commissioner Jesse Ramirez. Also from the Oxnard Harbor District, Port Hueneme, we have Mary Ann Ruby. And from the Oxnard Union High School District, we have Trustee Dick Marquez. And this is the elected officials. Okay, I'd like to move. Start right there. I'm sorry. Great. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. I'd also like to introduce a few of our directors for the chamber that are with us tonight. And if you could please stand, we'll applaud again. Save a little bit of applause. One is Bernie Madden, our chairman of the board, Steve Binger, is here. Also, we have Mark Charney from Health Care Compton, Craig Carcara from Amos Craig. Florence Lavano, DOT Enterprises, Patty Pompier, St. John's Hospital. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to acknowledge, I know that we have some past, the chairman of the board here that continue to support us years after they put in a lot of service. I know that we have Tom Beardsley, Greg Ramirez, Sue Chadwick, and others.
Okay, now the trouble comes in. I have the pleasure to introduce the military commanders here tonight. Now, we're not doing any of the retirees because we can be here too long. But we do want to recognize Captain Lawrence Vasquez, commanding officer of Naval Base Ventura County, and his wife Nancy. Command Master Chief Tom Sear and his wife Marcia. He's way over there. That's where Nancy and I are sitting too. We're actually GPS location in Fort Wayne. And I have Lieutenant Chris Miller for U.S. Coast Guard. He's the Coast Guard Station in Channel Islands Harbor Commander. Right. I have Major Richard Henderson. He's the commander of the 344th Training Squadron Jet 1 at Naval Base Ventura County. Or not. And also, representing United Network Command for Law and Enforcement, Special Agent Ilya Kuryakin is with us tonight. Old crowd. Alright, I'll let you figure out what all that is. Those of you who have no clue. You'll get a clue and you'll hear more from him in a moment. Now I'd like to introduce Ron Van Dyke, retired Command Master Chief, to introduce a few of the Military Affairs Committee, those responsible, not me.
I get to do some thank yous besides Military Affairs Committee. I'm not going to read off all the names. I will ask them to all stand up here in a second. But first, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the hotel on behalf of the Oxnard Chamber and the committee. Dinner, a little bit I have to take when I come up here is really good, and folks always do a great job. So let's give it a hand to the staff, please. And I'd like to thank our title sponsor, St. John's, who's doing this on a regular basis. I lost count how many years we've already done this. But it's always good to have St. John's sponsor. Our guest speaker, David Brown, which we'll hear from later, is glad to be able to make it up here. Actually, he got to do this chance to get a phone call from folks from Malibu that said, we don't have nothing to do with your chamber, we just want to condition. Okay, now for my committee. You can't do these events without great staff, the folks behind you to do it. I always seem to get credit when it makes me for a great show. Not my show. All I do is steer. I got a team that does all does the work, does the lifting to make this thing happen. A couple of them I'm going to single out. Everybody does their fair share, but a couple of them go above and beyond, and I want to single those folks out. If they can stand, and once they get done with those folks, I'll have the rest of the team members that are here stand. They're all listening to your program, and I'm not going to read their names. Tony Galante, this is the chair of the Paul Romano, who coordinates all the awards. Otto Kenny. He's probably proud of the wall. He does it with a smile every year. He has to coordinate all the awardees, get the posters done, chop their bios, and put it in plain English. If you've ever seen military language, it's all in gibberish and shorthand. You can't understand half the acronyms, they make no sense. He gets to translate all that and sort it up. And the last word is Ed. You're going to get plenty of Ed tonight. He's our permanent MC. He can't get rid of the job, but he's got it. And I can have all the rest of you can understand what you recognize. I would appreciate it, please. I would be remiss to get the group that actually made this happen. They're in the very, very background, but they're really in the foreground. And that's Nancy's staff. Amanda, Sharon, and Robin. Those three people make this thing happen.
Thank you, Ron. Now that everybody has an indigestion, I should have introduced myself. I'm Ed. I'm an alcoholic. Sorry, wrong crowd, but a lot of faces look the same. Anyway, it's really good to have you here. This is our largest dinner ever, the 15th year. We just demonstrated that you can put 300 people in that lobby, but not for long. We're going to need a bigger venue, so I'm thinking next year maybe Dodger Stadium. Since the Dodgers aren't doing anything with it. Ooh. Where's Marissa? Where's my big Dodger? Oh, I'm sorry, Marissa. I had to do it. Alright, so. Anyway, I will let you now go back and enjoy your dinner, and then we'll have our guest speaker following dinner. So, enjoy. If you have any questions, see Ron. Not true that we selected them by height, but it did help. Alright, thank you. United States Army Sergeant Michael C. Salazar goes by Cruz. Where is it? Over here, over here. U.S. Army recruiting station Oxnard, hometown on the border of Mexico, and his guest is Tiffany Salazar, his wife. Welcome. Alright, where is the table? I don't know where. United States Navy Air Force member first class aviation warfare Brandon, which is Charles B. Davis. Where are you? There he is, great back there. He's with BX-30 Air Test Evaluation Squadron, hometown, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His guest is Christine Davis, his wife, and he's also accompanied by his command master chief, Karen Spence. You notice we have every branch represented tonight with a heavy accent toward the Navy. But I show no bias. Okay, table 30. Where's table 30? Let's hear it for our guest. That's silent. Let's be the silent service. Oh, there are no submariners here. Where's table 30? They aren't working. Okay. Well, sitting at table 30, if we have one, it would be United States Navy Construction Mechanic Second Class, Joshua Norris. Where is it? Over there. Over there. Okay, and he's from Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 5, that's CB for you folks. Hometown, Brownsburg, Indiana, and his guest is Nicole Norrick, his wife. Great. Table 32, Navy. Obviously my numbers are all skewed, but rumor has it, intel officer probably messed them around a little. United States Navy Steelworker First Class, CB Combat Warfare, David Polio. Where's David? Right here. Hometown, Las Cruces, New Mexico. That's where the Navy recruits big time, New Mexico. Seaport down there. And his guest, Darcel Olio, I'm sorry, and his son of 11 months, Christopher. Table 25. Want to guess what service again? Thank you very much. Let's put that Oxnard contingent over there. Oxnard. Okay, United States Navy Aviation Structural Mechanics, Second Class Aviation Warfare, Adam Ulrich. Airborne Early Warning Squadron 116. Hometown, Lake Arrowhead, California. Another, that's an 80, right? They're going to be late. Well, and his guests, Kurt and Mariel, Rich's parents. Blame them. There they are. Now, hold heroine. Where are those relatives? They didn't come, see? Sorry. But all right. We'll hear more about him later. Okay, guess what? The next one. Not Navy. United States Coast Guard. Where's that Coast Guard table? Right over here. Oh, there it is. Electronic technician, second class, Louis Sturgis, U.S. Coast Guard Station, Channel Islands Harbor, and his guest, Michelle Sturgis, his wife. Welcome. Congratulations. Table 12, USMC, Marine Corps. Where is it? Oh, right over here. United States Marine Corps Sergeant Angelica Ime. Is that how you pronounce it? My name? Any way I want? Thank you. Instructor Staff Weapons Company. Okay, so watch out, guys. This one's armed. Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 23rd Marines, Fort Hueneme, and yes, Staff Sergeant John Avendano. Check with Otto. Thank you. All right, USMC. All right, send this to last. Next to last. United States Air Force. Table 20, where are you? All right, here we go. Technical Sergeant Parkia Cantu, 344th Training Squadron, Det 1 at Naval Base Ventura County in Fort Hueneme. She has guests, Master Sergeant Jason Cantu, her husband, Major Richard Henderson, her commander, First Sergeant Glenn Cervellis, and Master Sergeant Dudley Watson, her hometown, San Bernardino, on the beach, California. For those who wonder why an Air Force person would be stationed on Naval Base Ventura County, they actually have a joint services training school where they train mechanics for multiple services, Air Force, Army, and other people. Anyway, so that's why they're there. And now, my favorite unit who provided the band and the color guard, Department of the Air Force, Channel Islands Air National Guard, Senior Airman, Von Ellis O. Abrea. With the 146th Maryland Wing, his guest is Ashley Fajardo, a friend in his hometown, Oxnard, California. So these are the people. So you can see them. Their bios are nicely written up in the program. If you don't have a program, we'll get you one. And those are the folks we're going to recognize tonight for their outstanding service after we have our guest speakers. So stand by in 2 minutes. So finish up, get a drink, hit the head, and we'll continue. In Glasgow. I think that's how you say it back there. His bio is in the program. Scotland in a year long before we're going to mention tonight. He can tell you if you want to. He worked in film, television, and radio before coming to America in 1961 to play Judas Iscariot and Greatest Story Ever Told. I first saw him in The Great Escape. Soon after, he created the role of Ilya Kuryakin in the series Man from Uncle. Since then, he has appeared in a whole host of roles, most of which are well documented on the internet. As with everything else, you don't want to know about anything. He lives in New York, my old hometown, with his wife, Catherine, their children, and 5 grandsons. He's currently thoroughly enjoying his participation. This is written for me, so I'm assuming he's enjoying it. His participation in the acclaimed CBS television series NCIS as medical examiner. And he plays the medical examiner Donald Ducky Mallard. So, he and his wife have been long-time supporters of the United States Marine Corps charities and services. So I introduce, for some of us, the man from Uncle, Brothers Just Ducky.
First of all, yeah. I'd first of all like to thank Navy Master Chief Ron Van Dyke and Dinner Chairman Colonel Tony Galante for inviting me here tonight. It's a great pleasure. It's the first time I've been introduced to Delia Kuriaki in at least 40 Anyway, a while ago, a real special agent from the real NCIS was driving his young son along one of those remote roads in the Midwest that goes on and on, dead straight, for miles and miles. Each year, the two of them headed to a different Major League Baseball park. The idea over the years was to try and visit them all. Unaware of his speed, the agent was surprised when flashing lights appeared behind him and he was pulled over. The patrol officer asked for license and registration and told him he was driving a good deal over the speed limit. He then asked what line of work he was in. The agent replied, "I'm with NCIS." "NCIS," explained the agent, "that's me and my wife's favorite program." A month or so ago, I was asked to be on the law enforcement panel at DEF CON. That's the hackers convention in Las Vegas. My wife Catherine and I were there at the invitation of Jim Christie, a retired special agent who runs the DoD Cybercrime Center in Maryland. The other members of the panel came from the FBI, NCIS, NSA, and top cyber security firms. Jim introduced the panel and opened the session for questions. A woman stepped up to the microphone and said, "My question is for David McCallum. Is Ducky still alive?" You don't know the significance of this. On February the 18th, 2003, I was walking down Park Avenue in New York when my phone rang. It was my agent calling me to tell me to go to a casting director's office to audition for the part of the new television series of Dr. Ducky Malloy. Little did I know. The next move was to be flown out to California, where all the Duckies would open to audition for the series, and then, if successful, to audition for Paramount Studios. I made it happen. The great Don Belisario is responsible for it all. Without Don, we know NCIS. I owe him a great deal. He has made the last 10 years of my life challenging, fulfilled, and just plain terrific. However, we are here tonight to honor the heroes of this community. I'm afraid I don't know much about this community and even less about its heroes. And so I will beg your indulgence while I tell you a little about the heroes both in and closely associated with the military that I have had the pleasure of meeting over the last 10 years and who have generously given to me their time and expertise. 10 years ago, I knew nothing about NCIS and absolutely nothing about pathology. My education into the duties of the medical examiner was undertaken by Craig Harvey, the chief coroner of Los Angeles. He allowed me to stand in the corridor of the basement admission suite and observe several autopsies through the glass. After a while, I pestered him to let me witness at first hand a full autopsy on the other side, and he was kind enough to arrange this. I had the amazing experience of donning mask and gown and being given an extensive lesson in autopsy procedures by the deputy medical examiner, Christopher Rogers. Much of what he taught I have been able to incorporate into the show. Craig Harvey is still my hero, and I call his cell whenever I have a question or a problem. My self-adopted mandate is to keep everything as close to reality and up to date as I can, particularly in the area of pathology. We have brilliant writers, but they sometimes fall short. I keep having to tell them that a 9mm bullet fired at close range does not get lodged in the brain. To them, the plot takes preference over very significant. Special Agent Doug Einstein, great man, welcomed me to FLETC, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, where I spent 2 days finding out what NCIS was. That is where I first met Lou Eliopoulos. Over the year, Lou and his death handbook have served me well. Lou Eliopoulos is now the Chief of Forensics at NCIS. To continue my quest, I traveled to Washington in the Navy Yard and met with then Director David Brand. I was briefed by several heads of departments. I learned that everyone at NCIS is a specialist, each of them bringing a unique skill to the agency. I discovered they all have specific individual, and just like the television show, quirky characteristics. They are all very aware of what they achieve, and this gives them a great sense of pride. Leaving NCIS, I met with Commander Knapp, now Captain Knapp, at the 8th, who was again thoroughly briefed by his whole pathology team, collectively and individually. I then visited the DNA lab where I learned the procedures used to identify members of the armed forces. That same afternoon, I was given a tour of the FBI. Director Robert Mueller is not only the director of the FBI, he is also a former Marine and a very good friend of our family. We are godparents to each other's children. Robert was kind enough to arrange my tour. In retrospect, it's very interesting to compare the FBI facility with the new MTech facility down in Congo. That same evening, there was a Yale College reunion. As Catherine's brother had been in the same class as George Bush, she had been invited. Director Mueller made arrangements for us both to go. So in 14 hours, I had covered NCIS, AFID, the FBI, after when they met the President and First Lady at the White House. That's no bad for a weekend from Glasgow. It really was an extraordinary day, I'll never forget. Anyway, before leaving Washington the following morning, we were able to visit with many of the wounded at Bethesda Naval Hospital in Walter Reed, where we spent quite a bit of time in the war with those with new prosthetics learn how to use them. Everyone said the same thing. Once they were fit, they wanted to go back to their units. I learned later some of them actually succeeded. I myself was introduced to war at an early age. I was born about the same time that Adolf Hitler began his political aspirations and onslaught on Europe. In the 40s, as the Allies battled their way across the Low Countries and into France and Germany, each morning I would sit down at the kitchen table and follow the war maps in the Daily Express. Little did I know at the age of 10 that political maneuvering was controlling much of the military strategy and it would shape that continent and the world for years to come. In the winter of 1952, I was conscripted into the British Army and sent to the cold, windswept Welsh mountains for basic training with the Royal Artillery. We spent a great time firing 25 pounders on the range and a colossal amount of time cleaning and polishing them. However, in the classroom, my math was not up to scratch. My shell trajectory had a nasty habit of landing on our own troops. They wisely transferred me to the infantry. I was commissioned at Eton Hall Officers Training School and sent out to the colonies and Accra, West Africa, where I became a second lieutenant and second in command of C Company of the 3rd Battalion of the Gold Coast Regiment, which is now, of course, Ghana. I greatly appreciated the time in the service for several reasons. I was given the knowledge how to act the part of a soldier in movies and television, and that turned out to be very useful later on. I learned much about the military, and particularly the military mind. And of course, I learned a great deal about Africa. The Royal West African Frontier Force distinguished itself in East Africa and Burma during World War II. When I was there, our duties were principally ceremonial. In our hiatus this year, Catherine and I spent much of the month of May in Washington, where we started with a visit to NCIS, which is now down at Quantico, Virginia. This was at the invitation of the current director, Mark Truby. Once again, we were thoroughly briefed on current operations. We attended a memorial service for agents who had lost their lives in the performance of their duties, and met many members of their families. We toured the new NCIS facility, a mighty change from the old buildings of the Navy Yard. And for NCIS, we traveled down the road to the FBI laboratory, where we were given a comprehensive tour that included, among other things, a lesson on the latest techniques in DNA identification. However, one image remains fixed clearly in my brain. My wife Catherine standing in the FBI Weapons Museum, holding the gun held by Dillington at the moment he was killed. She was pointing to a submachine gun on the wall, saying that if she had a choice, she would prefer that one. That one, as it turned out, belonged to Pretty Boy Florence. Our next visit was to the headquarters of the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation in Alexandria, where we met with Margaret Davis, the president and the CEO. Catherine and I have been associated with the foundation for several years. Her father, who died last year at the age of 91, was a captain in the Marines and managed to survive Saipan, Tinian, Iwo Jima. All our family was this. Her brother George was also in the Marines. Sadly, he did not come back from Vietnam. Sometime later, a member of his platoon got in touch with us and asked if Catherine would like to become involved with the foundation. She readily agreed, and at the end of this month would become a member of the board. In April of this year, Ed, I had the honor to be the Master of Ceremonies of the New York Ball that celebrated the Foundation's 50th anniversary. Since it began in 1952, over $70 million has been raised to send children of Marines and the Navy Corps who served with them to college. Before we left Washington, we teamed up with then new director Cookie and his wife Mona, and once again visited the center. We were particularly struck by the strength and the indomitable spirit demonstrated by everyone we met there. These men and women are heroes in every sense of the word, and they represent and symbolize the finest of America. We arrived back in New York at the beginning of Fleet Week, where I had accepted an invitation from Rear Admiral Herman Shalansky, the commander of the carrier Strike Group 10, to visit the amphibious assault ship Wasp. My tour of the ship was graciously given to me by the Admiral himself. I met and talked with many of the pilots, highly skilled, committed men and women. The Wasp is small compared to other carriers. The flight deck is used for Harrier vertical takeoff attack aircraft, many types of helicopters and tiltrotor ospreys. Below the hangar deck, the aft end of which has a ramp for each guns for a 12,000 square foot lower level that can be completely flooded to allow air cushion landing craft to easily maneuver in and out with tanks and other heavy equipment. Despite its size, this Wasp delivers quite a thing. In a very short time, a large and fully equipped fighting force can be put on shore and, if needed, well inshore. At the end of the tour, I was invited to lunch in the officer's mess. I was asked what I found most interesting about my visit to the ship. I replied that I was greatly impressed with the ship's flexibility and massive power, but couldn't help wondering whether today's enemy was not what massive power was all about. Granted, the offensive task of the fighting force is to deliver as much damage as possible. But today's world is torn by conflicting ideologies, and these ideologies produce fanatics, single individuals that can cause frightful destruction all by themselves. In the Post newspaper a few weeks ago was a photograph of the Mars landscape, taken by the unmanned spacecraft Curiosity that had landed earlier there and driven around. You could see the track marks in red dust. It was driven around to find a suitable place to send back that photograph and other extraordinary images of the red planet. In the same edition of the paper was a photograph of an equally bleak landscape, this one on Earth. A young girl, wrapped in a shawl, was down on her knees. She had been found guilty of adultery. The Taliban fighters stood a few feet away with an automatic weapon and riddled her with bullets. A crowd of toilet males clinging the surrounding hillside, watching with apparent approval. The sophistication and expertise that went into creating the computers, the programming, and the hardware that flew that many million-mile mission to the Martian landscape on the one page, and the primitive behavior of those men on the other, vividly illustrated to me the enormous gulf that exists between these two cultures. So, what should our role be in this ever-changing world? Well, first and foremost, as has been said once again tonight, it is the defense of freedom. That's what this country is all about. It's the foundation on which it was built. Then we must continue to provide humanitarian relief wherever and whenever it is required. At the same time, no one could stop the fanatic, be he or she a foreign national or a homegrown terrorist. But it's also a mistake to become obsessed with every minor threat. We have to accept that there will be casualties. To overreact is to encourage the enemy. For the rest of the world, we need to re-emphasize that we have a fighting force that is second to none, not only to symbolize the defense of freedom, but actually to do something about it. I had the great pleasure of meeting Captain Simon aboard the Raven. When that mighty ship appears offshore anywhere in the world, the force that it represents is a mighty deterrent. It is also essential that those in charge respect and supply the forces with everything they need. It is also preferable that decisions are made with strategic goals in mind and not for political gain. But most of all, we need men and women who from the lowest to the highest levels of command and responsibility are dedicated to what they do. Men and women such as I've had the privilege to associate with over the past 10 years. Men and women such as we are here to honor tonight. When I was aboard the Wasp, there was a young Marine in overalls. He looked about 16. He was explaining the redesign of the Humvee chassis, how it's no longer flat-bottomed but V-shaped, sending the blaster naively outwards instead of upwards. An elderly woman on a public tour of the ship came over and asked, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" He replied, "Why? I'm doing it for you now." For me, she asked, a little puzzled by his answer. "Yes, ma'am," he replied. "I'm doing this so you can be free." Thank you.
David, on behalf of the Oxnard Chamber, the committee, we have a commemorative book for the coffee table signed by all of the awardees tonight, and a donation to the Marine Scholarship.
Hard act to follow, the secret agents. All right. Now, I'm going to explain a few things we're going to do here. We're going to recognize our 9 awardees tonight. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to bring them up, and I'm going to ask for the representatives of the various groups that are presenting awards, recognition, etc., to come up on this side in a few minutes, okay? And they'll be handing awards, etc. I'll read that list in a minute. But I wanted to warn all of the awardees, I've changed something. So this is a military re-accomplishment, okay? We told you you would be standing on that X, but the podium would be over there. Change 1 to plan 1. I'm moving the podium over here, but you're still standing on the X over there, okay? But the reason we're doing that is because following the awardees' words and recognition, there'll be a Kodak opportunity over here on the left side, and we're going to ask our guest speaker and the representative sponsoring that person to stand there for a few pictures, and we'll bring up each person individually. So take a break for a second, and we'll start in about 5 minutes, okay? This question. Who gets those beautiful centerpieces that are on the table? The centerpieces belong to Cloud of Iman. Ah, got your attention, right? Okay, the centerpieces belong to, if you have an awardee sitting at your table, take it first shot. Second shot, if no awardee is at your table, if you have a sponsor at your table. And third is arm wrestling. Okay, that may be a little bit much. But if you don't want to arm wrestle, it could be somebody who has the birthday that's closest to 9 to 10, and they can have it, okay? Cheering, obviously somebody in the foot there, doesn't it? Alright, now you're probably wondering, or not, what are we going to be giving these awardees tonight? And I have a list of what they will be receiving, not in exact order, because it's like her guess. They will be receiving certificates. Try this out. I'll have to call the Marines out. This is a list. They'll be receiving certificates of recognition from the City of Camarillo, City of Port Hueneme, City of San Buenaventura, Ventura and everybody else. Certificate of Accommodation in the City of Oxnard, Certificate of Recognition from Port Hueneme, Oxnard Harbor District, Hero of the Community Award from the Board of Supervisors of the County of Ventura, Certificate of Recognition from Assemblyman Doss Williams and from the California State Legislature, Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition from the Office of Lois Capps, Member of Congress, Oxnard Chamber of Commerce plaque, an Assembly Member of Bromley, State Assemblyman Jeff Durrell, State Senator Pavley, and State Senator Strickland will also have things for each individual. So you need to build a new room for all of these plaques we're going to get, okay? We will. And lastly, for the wives, the most interested, a $100 gift certificate there. That's a gift certificate to Walmart, which is right here in Oxnard. So there you go. That's what they'll be receiving. But first, we want to give them their congratulatory mention. So I will bring them up individually. We'll give them an opportunity to speak briefly, which is something I never learned. And then they will be receiving their recognition. Now, when I announce the sponsor, we need the sponsor's representative for the individual to come up here and stand right here. And we're going to ask our guest speaker if he will stand up here too. He's not paying attention, so we're going to ask him anyway. And so they're going to basically be presented with the certificate and the gift certificate. And then there's going to be a Kodak moment right here. We're going to have a photographer right there, so that we will forever immortalize them with their sponsor and with our guest speaker. So I'll ask the chief man that. Okay, so first we got to bring the person up. We're going to go in that same order. United States Army Sergeant Michael Cruz Salazar. Sponsored tonight by Beasley and Son, Beardsley and Son. Any good glasses? Where's the mayor? He's an optometrist, right? Oh. That's Tom. Hi, Tom. Representing Tom. Okay. Joined the Army in 2003 as a chemical operations specialist Served in the garden spots of South Korea, Fort Riley, Kansas, and Ghazliya, Iraq, for Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now, he did such a good job, he was retained for recruiting duty at Fresno, California, right in there, and his awards, don't ask me, they wrote this book. Awards include Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism, and many others. He resides in Oxnard with his wife Tiffany, daughters Destiny, and Angelina. Thank you.
I would like to take the time to thank the Chamber of Commerce for the award, the U.S. Army Gold Coast Recruiting Company, and my boss, Sergeant First Class Millerud, my wife, Tiffany Salazar, and I would also like to let the awardees and active duty enlisted know the Army is accepting prior service.
See why he's a recruiter. Yeah, could have been a salesman. Next, I'd like to invite up United States Navy construction mechanic Joshua Norrick. Naval Construction Battalion 5.
Take your spot.
Good. All right. He was selected by Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 5, Naval Base in Stewart County in Fort Winnie. Work Center Supervisor, supported 7 construction projects requiring 900 work days of construction. Assisted, collected over 600 pairs of shoes collected for the tsunami survivors under the Souls for Souls program. Relay for the Life participant, raised over $2,000 for the American Cancer Society. Selected for a position as Alpha Commander, Adjutant, normally a first-class petty officer billet. And he resides in Camarillo with wife Nicole and daughter Magnolia and son Wrigley. Congratulations.
First, I'd like to thank the Oxnard Chamber of Commerce for recognizing this award. I'd like to thank my sponsors for being so nice out there to me. I'd like to thank my command for putting me into the award also, seeing that in me. My wife for sticking by me, and just God bless me, and stay Navy.
Okay, I failed number 2. I forgot to mention the sponsor, Courtyard by Marriott Residence Inn, right here. United States Navy. It's the same theme over and over. Steelworker First Class, David Olio, Naval Mobile Construction Training Center, Naval Base, Fort Riley. So some of the folks you meet tonight will be, very young recruits or not long in the military. However, here we have a veteran, 10-year veteran of U.S. Navy. First assignment was to Fort Hueneme. You are a lucky dog. Yeah. All right. And his deployments have, though, included Iraq, Japan, and Guam. And he was assigned, listen to this, Transferred Naval Support Unit, State Department. In Arlington, Virginia, and attended the CB Security Specialist Training Unit. Now, why would you do a thing like that? Because the next assignment is U.S. Embassy Engineering Services Center in New Delhi, India. Yes, you join the Navy, you get to see the world. Some of it you don't want to see, but anyway, India, not bad. Provided technical support for regional U.S. embassies and the Marine security groups. And he returned here to Naval Construction Training Center in April 2011. And he's a Command OOD Watch Field Coordinator, which I have Officer of the Day Watch. Okay, I'm interpreting for you there. And he obtained his AA in General Studies from American Military University, February 2012. He's an NCTC, which is Naval Construction Training Center Instructor of the Quarter for the fourth quarter of 2011, and NCTC Sailor of the Quarter for the third quarter of FY 2012. Decorations include the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal and many others. He's married to Darcel Olio, son is Christopher David, residing in Port Hueneme.
I'd like to thank the Oxnard Chamber of Commerce, my wife. Without her, this would not be possible. I wouldn't be at this point in my career, and also my sponsors. So thank you, everybody.
United States Navy. I missed this one, by the way. That's why I was out of order. It was quickly pointed out to me. So somebody else will be doing this next year. And I didn't. United States Navy Naval Aircrewman First Class Aviation Warfare, Brandon Davis. On down. He's here with Air Test and Evaluation Squadron VX-30, Naval Base Ventura County, hometown, as we said before, Baton Rouge. So he's here for the seafood? No. All right. Signed December of 2009, assigned Air Test and Evaluation Squadron VX-30. Primary flight engineer, which I totally respect, because having flown C-130, I respect flight engineers, which, by the way, the Air Force has done away with. Go figure. The new airplanes. But procedure standardization, in other words, he was one of the fellows who now keeps track of everybody else to make sure they're doing the job right. Operations leading petty officer, scheduling 10 aircraft and 70 aircrew. Scheduled over 1,106 sorties for 2,858 flight hours, delivering over 2 million pounds of mission cargo. Selected by VX-30 as the Senior Sailor of the Quarter, first quarter of 2012. 120 hours of volunteer in support of MWR, which is interpreted as morale, welfare, and that's who supports all the military facilities for education and exercise and other things, which we need badly. Lead team that raised $12,000 with MWR resided in Oxnard with his wife, Christine, and children, Ethan, 2, and Annalisa, 2 months.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce, as well as my sponsor, AMS Craig. Also, I'd like to thank VX-30 for nominating me for this honor. Also to my beautiful wife, Christine Davis. Thank you for your devotion and support. And the past 2 years that we've been together, raising our children, have been the best years of my life.
Brandon is sponsored by AMS Craig LLC tonight, and he's the guy that knows how to get back into his house. What a nice guy. I'm glad my wife wasn't here to hear that. Where do we leave off? Okay, another Navy, United States Navy, Steelworker First Class CB, Combat Warfare, David Olio. Did I already give him? Oh, we already gave him. It's great to have a bad memory because I'm meeting so many people tonight. All right, United States Navy. I got the first part right. Aviation Structural Mechanics, second class, aviation warfare. He's with Carrier Airborne Early Warning Squadron 116. Hometown, Lake Arrowhead. Oh yes, that's what got him in the Navy. Probably been sailing out there for his entire life. All right, Carrier Airborne Warning Squadron 116. Joined it in July of 2009. Qualified as a C2C plane captain, which is actually the guy who makes sure the plane is operational, fit for duty, and who gets blamed if it isn't. Right? Pretty much. I broke that code. Signed to the USS Abraham Lincoln, carrier CVN-72, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from December 2011 until August 2012. Just got home. Squadron had a 99.4% combat sortie completion rate during 2011-2012. During that time, they flew with the 5th Fleet in the Arabian Gulf, the 6th Fleet in the Mediterranean, and the 7th Fleet North Pacific. It was a lot nicer, I bet. All right. 1,875 mishap-free flight hours in Operation Enduring Freedom. Is involved with the California Adopt a Beach program in Ventura County. He's Carrier Airborne Early Squadron 116 and Carrier Strike Group 9, Junior Sailor of the Quarter for the first quarter of 2012. He's single and resides in Oxnard.
On top of the last speech, but it's an honor to be here. Very, very excited. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce, my sponsor, my parents, Mary and Kurt, for being here tonight. My command, my whole leadership here. I appreciate everything. Keep up the good work.
I think we're number 6, is that right? Okay. Coast Guard, good, got it, right one. Okay, representative, this is sponsored by the Marriott Government Travel. United States Coast Guard Electronics Technician, 2nd Class, Luke Sturgis. Representative from Marriott, come forward, please. There we go. And enlisted in the U.S. Coast Guard in July of 2005. And he was in basic training in Cape May, New Jersey. That's a tough assignment. And now assigned to the Coast Guard cutter. How do you say that? Thetis. We had one last year who was stationed on the Yahoo. I love the Coast Guard. Can you say a carrier named Yahoo? Yahoo! No, only the Coast Guard. They name them, they're great names for their cutters. And anyway, welcome, police. How does that happen? So, joined Electronic Support Detachment in Oxnard in July of 2011. ET2 Sturgis administered the detachment Oxnard test equipment with a value of over $100,000. He's also the supply petty officer, ensuring all procurement requests are ordered, and he's getting ready for the next year's budget. Yeah, but volunteers with Habitat for Humanity in Ventura County. Volunteer time with E.O. Green Junior High, serving as the chaperone for multiple functions. Married to Michelle Sturgis, 2 children, Connor, age 12, and Logan, age 3, resides in Port Miami.
I just want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, my sponsor, and my wife, Michelle, my command, DSU Alameda, and Lieutenant Miller. I don't see him around, but he's from Station Channel Line, so thank you.
Have to be nice to the coasties because, they're the only ones who can carry out arms and board the little boats. Arrest you. The rest of us can't arrest you. Those guys do. That's what sets them apart, among other things. But they're guard, so they're like the Air Guard. They're our cousins. The Coast Guard, Air Guard. It never works. Don't get it. Okay. Now, sponsored by Procter & Gamble, United States Marine Corps, Sergeant Angelica Ivey. Inspector, Instructor Staff, Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 23rd Marines, Fort Miami, California. And Sergeant, enlisted in the Marine Corps in November, in Marine Corps. I could run for office. Never mind. Let's go. November of 2005, Norfolk, Virginia, or Norfolk, Virginia. I'm telling you, those cocktails are getting better. From 2005 to 2008, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal for both her performance as a unit administrator and her involvement with the community's church and youth programs. January 2010, she joined the instructor staff for Weapons Company 2 of the 23rd. She serves as the staff unit diary clerk. The non-commissioned officer in charge for the administration section of the inspector instruction staff. You really, just the titles alone are enough to stop you. Active duty of the Marine Corps, or active member of the Marine Corps' Toys for Tots in the Tri-County area. Military funeral honor ceremonies covering the communities of Oxnard, Ventura, Westlake, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo, which we really thank you for all those veterans that are now passing our way. And Sergeant has two daughters, Marisol Jamie and Gabriela Galeen Avendada. Resides in Camarillo, California. Hoorah.
Recognizing all of us in the words here tonight. And then I also want to speak by significant other information for our guys all the
And she is sponsored tonight by Procter & Gamble. Thank you very much. And let's see, you have poor Wanini, your significant other has 29 pounds. Okay, I'm going for poor Wanini, big time. You haven't been to 29 pounds, don't bother. Unless you're stopping for gas, you're in the wrong place. All right, number 8. United States Air Force, sponsored by Kaiser Permanente, Technical Sergeant Marikia from the 344th Training Squadron, Det 1 Naval Base, Ventura County. We get the rain color of blue up here. All right, although the Coast Guard does have the same color blue as we do. And then black, like a navy blue, black and blue. Enlisted in May 2002. After a 4-year tour at Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, she was reassigned to Elmendorf. Okay, from Lackland, Texas to Elmendorf. You've got to be flexible in the Air Force. Air Force Vehicle Management School in Fort Wanini in June of 2010. Her service school instructor delivering over 1,500 instructional hours of vehicle maintenance. Wow. You know, I need some vehicle maintenance. Now, you're an instructor. That's pretty good. Community College of the Air Force Associate Degree in Vehicle Maintenance Management. Accumulated 95 credit hours toward her bachelor's degree in Organizational Management with a GPA of 4.0. Listen to this. The name, guys, listen up. Sergeant Cantu, first Air Force instructor to attain the coveted Navy Master Training Specialist certification. All right. She deployed to Bagram Air Force Base, Afghanistan, another guard spot, for 6 months in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Her awards include 2 Air Force Achievement Medals and 2 Air Force Commendation Medals. Air Force Sergeants Association, and as the Detachment Advisory Council Vice President, raised $9,000 for the unit morale and recreation activities. California School Board Association, where she chaperoned a school trip and mentored young teenagers on military opportunities for females. She's married to Master Sergeant Jason Cantu, has 2 children, Jason 7 and Julian 6, and resides in Camarillo.
All right, well, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to my sponsors. Thank you to David Graham for providing me the opportunity to be here this evening. I want to also thank my husband for standing there by my side and supporting me all the time.
And I think I've been sponsored by Kaiser Permanente. And last, but my favorite, hometown. All right. Representative of the Ventura County Star would come forward, and this is for Department of the Air Force, Channel Islands Air National Guard Senior Airman Von Ellis Abrea. Yeah, I always make fun of it. Listen, he's got the most important job in the Air National Guard. He works in finance. He's the manager of the customer service counter, the most visible part of the finance office. It's also the only place we can reach across, right? I always joke with the folks in finance. They're the only ones on the base that keep passing the buck, right? That one didn't work either. I don't get it. Yeah. All right. Manager of customer service counter. During severe manning shortage, which is forever, he assists travel pay customer service by independently researching and making himself an expert in that area. Comptroller's residential military pay expert and service professional, briefed entitlements to over 100 troops deploying in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. As a physical training leader, he also led the comptroller flight in physical fitness. Currently completing his community college with the Air Force degree, Senior Airman Abrea will enroll in the University of La Verne this fall with the goal of Bachelor of Science degree in Organizational Management. He is single and resides in Oxnard, California.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for coming, especially Oxnard Chamber of Commerce and sponsors. That's kind of a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you guys. I'd also like to thank the community. I was born and raised here in Overwood. I'd also like to thank my supervisor and Sergeant Tagaligas, my mentor, great mentor. Without you, I wouldn't be up here for the airman I am today. So thank you. And last but not least, my mom was bugging me, so this is your creation. I want to thank you. You've been the best mom ever. All my dad too. So thank you to both of you. Couldn't done without you guys. Look at me. I guess close to the military was a good choice. Thanks again. Everyone have a good night. Now, following, we're gonna, just crowd out that guest speaker. Who's this fellow? By the way, thanks, Mom, because you recruited him and you didn't get stuck with this little Army card over here. It's a nice rivalry, trust me, except they have tanks, so we can't really mess with them. All right, well, that's all of our 9 honorees, and I would like to one big round of applause for them. Before you go, you gotta have some music. So, immediately following the music, though, we are gonna have all the awardees up here so they can have another photo opportunity with our guest speaker. But now we're gonna play some music, and if you recognize a song that you have some familiarity with, like the airport song, I want you to make some noise. I want to hear it. We got the Band of the Southwest, and they're going to play the medley of all of the military songs right now.
This is the sponsors table.